very good morning. Once again, of course, from the sports desk at least. Now, this weekend is all about the famed NBA All-Star Game. Team LeBron will take on Team Giannis in the wee hours of Monday morning in Salt Lake City in Utah. Los Angeles Lakers star LeBron James and Milwaukee Bucks forward Giannis Antetokounmpo are set to be leading the finest ballers coming from a draft process. For James, a chance to go 6-0 in the All-Star Game is on the cards, while Antetokounmpo will be looking to pick up his first win against James in 3 matchups. Now, joining us now from all the way from Salt Lake City is News 24 Deputy Sports Editor Sibusiso Mjikeliso. A very good morning to you, at least from South African time, Sbu, and a good evening to you out in Salt Lake City. I mean, you've been there now for a couple of days. The atmosphere, it must be buzzing, because I think this is the first time in 20 years, or 30 years in fact, that Salt Lake City is hosting an All-Star Game.
Yeah, thanks, Morena. Thanks for having me. It's also the first time I'm in the US, so you can imagine how I'm feeling, how I'm buzzing. What an event, what a party, what a weekend. What a show the NBA knows how to put together. I can tell you that for free. It's just been excitement, layers of excitement building up. I got here on Wednesday morning, and it's just built up from Thursday, slowly trickling in. There's media. I mean, Wall Street Journal journalists are here, New York Times, obviously, the best, ESPN, CNN, the best journalists in the country, sport outlet city. So that tells you the gravity of the event that's happening. You got CNN presenters here hosting. I mean, Gayle King was hosting Patrice Motsepe at a newsmakers conference here at the NBA All-Star crossover. Just across from my hotel, there's a big building, a convention center there. It was a closed session. Unfortunately, I didn't make it there. I would have loved to. But you can imagine Gayle King hosting an event at an All-Star Weekend. That really, really shows you how big this is.
And this is all before the actual action on court takes place, where before we even get to see LeBron James and Giannis Antetokounmpo, of course, with the likes of Kevin Durant, with the likes of Stephen Curry, you know, with the likes of Kyrie Irving, even getting on court, being drafted into the particular teams. We're already seeing all the hype building up to it. But we've already had a 3-point contest, which was taken by Damian Lillard, of course, from the Portland Trail Blazers. Just some of the build-up events that happen before the actual match that takes place, at least from a South African standard time, 3 in the morning. What kind of events do they have on court?
Oof. I mean, we were quite involved in a few. There was a Rising Stars game, so you've got like Scottie Pippen's son playing in that, and a couple of other sort of young guys are playing the G League. Very, very young rookie and sophomore year players picked by coaches, you know, so they are going to be all-stars someday. They've been handpicked and they play together. You know, they have their own draft system, and it's also attracted a lot of attention. There's a celebrity game. Friday night, last night was a celebrity game. You got Janelle Monáe playing, Hassan Minaj, the comedian, was playing, all sorts of celeb. Fat Joe was there, 21 Savage, you know, our South Africans, Buntle Modiselle and Casper Nyovesta in attendance. They're here this weekend. And it's just, you know, those were some of the events building up, but there's a whole lot. You literally cannot split yourself into a million pieces, because there was the All-Star practice earlier today, but there was an NBA Africa luncheon at the same time, which is the gala event of the proceedings here. So I couldn't be at the All-Star practice as much as I would have loved to get there. But I managed to see Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony, Andre Iguodala, all those people, Chini Oguweke at the NBA luncheon. So it's great. There's so many things happening. I literally have lost track, and we haven't even gotten to the All-Star game yet. I mean, there's HSBCU games going on as well. Donovan Mitchell was there with his mother, attending that. There's clinics. There's development camps, all sorts of things. There's conferences, there's talks, crossover conversations if you want to. get into the deeper side. There was a mental health conversation as well, with Vernon Williams, one of the hard men era of the 90s, played for Houston Rockets, who won 2 championships for Houston, with Hakeem Olajuwon. I think it was 93, 94. So yeah, it's a licorice all sorts here. I can tell you that for free.
Sbu, this is obviously happening just slap bang in the middle of a regular season that's already on the go. The guys are going to be coming back to their franchises on the 24th of February, that's next week Friday, to continue with the NBA season, to try get their franchises into positions for the playoffs. So one wonders, when you have an all-star game that is so star-studded, has all the best celebrities, not just in the United States, but as you had mentioned, Casper Nyovest is there, Bontle Modiselle is there. When you have celebrities from all across the globe, essentially descending on Salt Lake City in the middle of a regular season, does that not take the players, off, their goals? Does that not essentially just sidetrack them?
You'd think so, but they build up to this. I mean, it's tradition. What's one of the questions I managed to sneak into a closed session with the Deputy Commissioner of the NBA, Mark Tatum, where I was able to pose a question as to, can other sports adopt this all-star culture? Caveating it with the Todd Bowley sort of getting laughed at by the Premier League for suggesting such a thing. I mean, he said it's tradition for them. I mean, it's been 30 years since it came to Salt Lake City. It's been going on for way, way longer than that. And coming here for players is literally what they look forward to. It's not an interruption of the season. It's part of the season because it's the halfway point of the regular season. And now they can say, okay, you're the Lakers. They're trying to get into a playoff spot. This is a nice break for them to cool off, maybe to get light conversations, to build team spirit amongst the new guys. I've got a new roster as well. Some new guys have joined the Lakers, like D'Angelo Russell and them. So this is a nice chance to get away from the pressure of it all, very pressurized environment. And remember, there are 82 regular season games in the NBA. You're playing night after night. There are games every night. You're playing, if you're not playing back-to-back nights, you're playing every other night. And there's lots of travel as well. You're traveling from the west to the east and vice versa to the Midwest. All of that happens. It's a nice, pressure valve release for them. And like I said, it is already built into the fabric of their culture here, that they know that they're going to come to Salt Lake City next year. I think they're going to Indiana, and they already look forward to that. So I don't think for them it's as cumbersome as it would be if we were to introduce it, for instance, in the rugby season, in the already jam-packed rugby season, where players are playing URC, they're playing Champions Cup now, and then there's going to be Rugby Championship, and then the World Cup begins. So it might be a bit more difficult for your crickets and your rugbies to start something anew, but for basketball, this is it for them. This is their Super Bowl, so to speak, and it's coming a week after the NFL Super Bowl. And everything comes to a standstill in Utah just for this.
Everything comes to a standstill in the United States in the month of February, that is for sure. And for somebody that is experiencing the United States for the first time, what a way to do so. Sbu, enjoy the last couple of days you have, especially the All-Star Game itself. Team LeBron taking on Team Giannis, that happening tomorrow, 3 o'clock South African time. Of course, thank you very much for joining us all the way from Utah. That is the News 24 Deputy Sports Editor, Sbusiso Mjigeliso, of course, just coming to us from Salt Lake City, where he is about to have one of the greatest pleasures of being a sports person, and that is to watch the All-Star Game, to watch LeBron James on court live, having just broken Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's record of being the all-time leading point scorer in NBA history.